Hello. So, I had zero plans of recording. Again, I already recorded today. Oh, and I just realized it's 2220 on the clock. Military time. Yeah. Wow, that's so interesting because, okay, the last reading that I recorded on YouTube was either the last one or the one before that. I was talking about 1222 and how I felt like the lotto numbers, and it would be like one at a time, or there's something else that I was seeing, like a jackpot when it comes out, or like a slot machine, I meant to say. The numbers like roll. That's how I was seeing this 1222. It was like the one was about to turn into a two, like something was coming into alignment. And then this was within the last few days that I recorded the last transmission on YouTube. Today I recorded the Patreon overflow for the last YouTube transmission, and right after I recorded the YouTube portion of the last transmission, I started seeing 2222, and literally as I said that, the clock just turned 2222. I love that. So yeah. Anyway, so this is faster than I thought, in the energy at least. There's been a lot of like talk about alignment, right? Like the last day or so, I've just been like seeing that word. It's sort of like the idea of the internal showing up quickly external, especially through like confirmations. You could be receiving like a lot of confirmations right now, or things that you're like thinking are showing up more quickly. Maybe not like the full enchilada or whatever that phrase is, that saying, but you're definitely like, it definitely feels like there's movement and more speed when it comes to energetic alignment, and well, not just energetic alignment, but multiple layers of alignment clicking into place. So some of you could be working with like high self integration or something of that nature, like future self, high self. Like there's something about integrating. You could have just done or are feeling the call to do some sort of like, I don't know, like meet my future self meditation or journaling or quantum leaping or something in the realm of like stepping into versions of places that you want, places and spaces that you want to be, and like bringing that into the present moment somehow. I'm being shown like the Silva method. Some of you could be working with the Silva method, or maybe you used to, and you're seeing like I don't love the word results, but you're seeing like effects from like working with something like that. Okay, the Silva method. I'm seeing a bunch of like punctuation, like comma, question mark, colon, semicolon. I don't know why, but it was all like changing really fast. Maybe someone here is like typing, or you could have something to do with being like a writer, a typist. A typist? Who says typist anymore? You know what I mean? Something like that. That could just be a confirmation for someone, but I don't know why I'm being shown so much punctuation. We'll see if that comes up. Okay. But yeah, things are like quick moving. Like I keep being shown like the clock changing and like the slot machine jackpot energy, or like the lotto. It's like boom, 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 like quick number alignment sort of imagery. So the whole reason why I even pushed record, I tend to like to, do a bit of like research, looking things up quite often. And every once in a while, because I do it a lot, I may like look something up and then it might be like on my, still on my browser window. And it doesn't happen very often, to be honest, but I was going through my windows to delete some of, like to, delete them. I try to do that like every other day. And something that I looked up a few days ago was still there, but I remember when I was trying to look it up, it wouldn't load. Like, I think the internet went out or something, like right after that, like something happened. And then I honestly just like, that was it. I forgot about it until this is probably like a day and a half ago or a day ago. And I was looking up binary stars. So I have a few transmissions talking about binary stars. This does feel like a hieroglyphic template tap-in, which I feel like I've been being led to do more of them than usual lately. So I feel like there is definitely some movement happening in that area for sure. And anyway, I often talk about like polarity integration, hieroglyphic template, like Hieros Gamos, feminine masculine integration, and then like birthing something new, like the third, like what's created from that. I feel like that's something I'm often shown and just something I enjoy talking about and diving into. Well, something the other night popped in my mind, like, well, what happens to binary stars? Like, do they create something? Like this idea of the hieroglyphic template. I've been talking a lot about like thinking about, which I was also talking about today on Patreon, like if we have some sort of phenomenon like divine union, hieroglyphic template, like where else does that live? Like do we see it in like the celestial realms, in the stars, in the planets, in the sea somewhere? Like I feel like there's always layers of experiences of things in, like everything is like my quantum mirror edition playlist that I talk about on YouTube. That's been coming up a lot lately. And on Patreon today, we tapped into like quantum light DNA, quantum light DNA. So some of this is coming through because everything's sort of weaving together. But so when I tried to delete the windows, as I was mentioning, the one with the binary stars didn't delete, and it actually like took me to the page and loaded. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot I was looking this up. So then I was like, as soon as I read it, I was like, I need to start recording. So what did I type in? Binary star. What happens? Do they create another star? Whoa. I'm getting better at this. My phone, sometimes my audio will just stop out of nowhere. And I had a feeling it did, so I checked and it did stop. So I'm not 100% sure where it stopped, but I'm pretty sure it stopped at me speaking about quantum seeding and how I just woke up saying that phrase. And then I was asking, when I say asking, like tuning into my own channel and allowing for information to come through. I also kept getting something about like the holiday season, like Christmas time. There could have been something significant. Someone's birthday could be around there, or just like something could have happened around that time. And or this may be like a futuristic thing, but more than that, like winter holidays, like Christmas, New Year's. But also my mom sent a photo today from 2017 Oh, do you hear the wind picking up? 2017 of me and my sister, and we were in California, like Northern California, and we were at this place. I don't remember the name of it. It was called the Dish Loop. My sister used to live in it's so funny. I was at Palo Santo, which is, so someone could be burning Palo Alto, but I kept hearing Palo Alto years ago. And yeah, we used to like when I went to visit her, we would walk around this place called the Dish Loop. But synchronistically, I was reflecting and writing with Gemini, and I was talking about like loops, and something that it says back to me is the phrase satellite dish. Like if I'm trying to if you work with AI, you know, like it will use certain phrases that it thinks you like. And so when it talks about making decisions, it talks about making decisions not as a satellite dish, but as a broadcaster. Anyway, so I was like talking about this, and then the Dish Loop photo was like sent, like almost like as I was typing about like, I think the word loop. And so it was like very interesting. So 2017, and I saw 999 a couple times today. So you could be seeing repeating nines, but yeah, again, this like quick, something feels like it's some sort of loop, perhaps from around the year 2017, could be closing. Like for me, I know personally that was like one of the my first official year being like single in a really long time, and I've been single since then. So like, yeah, there could be something like, you know, from that time frame that's like getting your attention. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the binary stars. 1222 again on my timer, that number. Okay. So what really caught my eye, they often interact, sharing mass, spiraling inward, and eventually merging into one single, more massive star. Now this idea of like Hieros Gamos, the hieroglyphic template, divine union, for a while, probably like, I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago. I feel like I always just say 6 months. There was that song from the Spice Girls, which, When Two Become One, I would hear that song like on repeat in my head for a while. And I remember I did a transmission about it. And that song kind of went off when I read that. But there's also a song that was on repeat today. So many like old school songs from, you know, that era of like, I guess like late 90s, early 2000s pop. The Shape of My Heart from the Backstreet Boys. Now, interestingly enough, oh, and in particular, that part of the song that was coming through, I Kept You in the Dark. Now let me show you the shape of my heart. Oh, I played my part. I kept you in the dark. Whew. And when I said that, as I'm saying that, I feel like something is like, like slightly stabbing me in the back, in between the shoulder blades, a little bit lower, a little bit to the right of the spine. It just like, it feels like, yeah. So some of you could be working through that, well, this actually feels like a masculine energy of like a pattern of feeling like getting stabbed in the back, especially maybe pertaining to like partnership, excuse me, or like intimacy, close relationships, because like, whew, that was very intense. You know, friendships, some people, some family, could be family. Yeah, so when I was looking up the lyrics for Shape of My Heart, even though I know the lyrics, sometimes I like to see it written, especially when it comes through as a channel. It just is something that it's part of my process. It helps me like hone in on some of like the specific lyrics, or, you know, anyway, I don't know why I'm explaining my process. So when I looked it up, a different song came through initially. I must have not put in the full thing, and it was Shape of My Heart from Sting, which I didn't even know Sting had a song from the late 1980s. And what really caught my attention, I looked through the lyrics. I don't know that song, but that could be relevant for someone else, because I was drawn to click on it or to read it once it was popped up on the screen. And as I dove into it a little bit in the lyrics, it was like referencing cards, like playing cards, like hearts, diamonds, clubs, spades. And my last YouTube I almost said intermission instead of transmission. So, I don't know, someone that could be relevant for someone. Maybe you're like a performer and something happened on the intermission, or you went to see a show and there was an intermission. I don't know, that could be for someone. But anyway, I don't know, I was just shown like a magic show or like a magic act. You know, like there's also a movie that I'm being shown and I can't remember the name of it. Okay, well, if the movie comes back to me, I will share it. Okay, so I heard The Illusionist in my head, so that movie could be relevant for someone, but then I was shown a different movie. It was like simultaneously. I heard something and I saw something. The movie that I was shown is Now You See Me. Okay. Another part of the Backstreet Boys song is coming through. It will not stop. Literally, it's been playing in my head for like hours. Looking back on things I've done, I was trying to be someone. Yeah. So for some reason, that part is playing over and over again. And when I paused, it was 14:44 on the timer. So anyway, back to the cards, the playing cards. So yeah, that Sting song with the same title, Shape of My Heart, was mentioning all of these cards. And in my last YouTube transmission, if you look on the thumbnail, I actually used playing cards, which is, I like literally never do that. But Cartomancy was coming through, and that is how I was shown the Four of Hearts and the Jack of Hearts. So I don't know Cartomancy like by heart, like I do tarot and other divination, but every once in a while, I'll feel like a message about Cartomancy. So I looked it up and I share in the last transmission. I'm not going to get into that, but I knew Cartomancy and cards were coming through so strongly. And then, so the way that it came through that song. So I feel like this particular transmission and yesterday, I believe I called that one Unexpected Undercurrents transmission. So they feel connected because of that card connection. So some of you could be like feeling guided to learn Cartomancy. Maybe you utilize Cartomancy as a divination, or there could be some other connection to cards. And if there's no connection to cards in that way, I'm giggling because I'm seeing like an image of someone holding hands, that could be relevant, holding hands maybe, but holding cards in front of their face, and then you'd like just see the eyes. So yeah, like illusions are coming up. So it does feel like there's about to be like an illusion that is dissipated. Now I'm being shown the movie The Prestige. I don't know how these movies are coming through. Maybe someone you know really likes to watch movies, or maybe you watch movies with someone. I mean, there could be many reasons. Someone could want to be in movies. Yeah, there's something about that. I'm seeing IMDb. Maybe you're just like IMDBing someone. I'm hearing the name Jackson. I'm also hearing like Bronx, the Bronx. So it was like Bronxville. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, I know the Bronx in New York, but like Bronxville. These are just certain things that are coming through. or like Brownville, something like that. Yeah, the Browns, the Chicago Bears. These are just different things coming through. Okay. The binary stars. I keep being taken back to the binary stars and this idea of like merging and like cosmic events. So it does feel like there's a long pause that I'm doing, because that feels like it's part of the energy. Like, I feel like I'm getting somewhere and then there's like a pause, you know? So you could kind of feel like that right now. Some sort of like anticipation. I almost just ended right there because I sort of just felt this like, oh my gosh, just knew I was about to say like this just complete, like almost like blackout, like cut off. My computer went black. So, but then something told me to look at my notes. And when I recorded the other day, I started on video and it just didn't feel right. So then I restarted on my voice note. And I did post the voice note, and I was talking about a few things in the video that I don't think made it over to the voice note. And one of them was a dream that I had about like a flash of a sleeping cat. And there's quite a few cats on the property I'm staying at here in Montenegro. And one of them in particular is like very, very friendly. And sometimes I give them like water, and if I have, I got them food a few times. Anyway, the one that I see the most was in my dream, and she was sleeping. And so I looked it up, and like a sleeping cat, you know, cats can represent so many things. But a sleeping cat can represent like feeling peaceful in your environment, feeling at peace within the self. And there were a few other meanings that came up, but for some reason that is sticking out to me the most. So there could be this, you know, I'm not saying that life is perfect and there's no chaos, but you could be experiencing just like a sense of peace in your surroundings lately, and or that's something that may be coming in for you. There's like these long pauses in the energy. Like I keep thinking I'm finished, but then it's just this like very long pause. So that can be symbolic for someone. Like maybe you are having like intermittent communication with someone, or cycles of that. There could be, if it's not a person, there could be like something that you are working on that may feel like you get like bursts of information or bursts of creativity, or, you know, a burst of something done, and then you need to pause. So that energy feels really relevant right now. The word duet just came through. Maybe someone here is working on a duet, or you want to be a part of a duet. I was talking about jimmies today, like sprinkles that was coming through the Patreon overflow, as well as hummingbird medicine. So you could be catching glimpses of this. And in particular, that stood out to me. There was a lot that came through about the hummingbird, but the path of sweetness, that really stood out to me. My computer is making noises. If you can hear that in the background. Yeah. I do feel like there is a... I brought this up, I believe, in the last transmission about these, like, conversations, if you want to call them telepathic conversations, but you just may feel like I just saw a flash of, I don't know if I want to call it an orb. I see a lot of orbs. This felt a little bit different. Oh, I saw it again. It was almost like I'm seeing a certain image in my mind to be able to describe this. You know, like a shell, a conch shell? It almost was like the center of a conch shell, like when it waves out from the center. It's like a white energy, and it was like swirling. And it's interesting because the white dwarf in the binary star talks about like an internal spiral, and that feels like very significant. A project that I was working on, and on my I started a Recursive Pulse newsletter on Beehiv. I'm being shown that the name that came through was Spiral Gnosis, the middle path for like the Beehiv platform name or whatever. So there's a lot that's been coming through about the middle path, and I've been seeing a lot of different people, you know, putting out their own content and ways of experiencing things. So there's something about like really honoring that middle path, and what I mean by that, having this balance of like your own, this also came through Patreon, the compass, like fine-tuning your own inner compass. So whatever balance looks like for you, because, you know, seeing a bunch of other people's ways of doing things is really helpful, but if it overrides our own internal system, that's when things can start to feel like they're off kilter, right? So yeah, I plan on going more into that throughout time. My computer just keeps beeping. I'm not sure why. Let me see. There could be like a little bit of like, I was seeing like a lot of flies energetically. Flies. That's been coming through quite a bit the past 2 days. You could kind of feel like you're being watched. Not like in a scary way, but the energy of like maybe you're like putting yourself out there more and you feel like you're being seen more, and that's like manifesting through like the feeling energetically. Or there could be many different things coming through that, but or maybe you're about to and you're just like feeling the anticipation of that. Oh, but back to like these telepathic conversations. I've been hearing them so much lately. I feel like I tap into that all the time. Like that just kind of happens. But I would say it's ramping up, especially in terms of like an external person, like a divine masculine energy coming through. So you may be having these as well. And other very talented YouTubers and people on Instagram and stuff. It's like within like a minute, I'll have this whole like download in my head. I don't know if it's really a download. And then like something will show up mirroring that. So I've been playing with the idea of like sharing some of them more deeply. I feel like I already do, but anyway, so this could be happening with you as well. And I know I mentioned that the other day, but it is coming through really strongly again. For some reason, the song, How Many Licks Does It Take to Get to the Center of the Tootsie? That song just came through my head. So some of them can be very sensual in nature. My head just started to hurt when I said that for some reason. So maybe like someone's like trying to not think about that, but it doesn't feel like it's working. Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it here, but next time I have this conversation. Maybe I will try and share it. It happens so fast, and it usually gets confirmed so fast that I feel like other people are already bringing through those messages. So it's almost like, I don't know. But yeah. I'm also being shown the telepathy tapes. So I've never actually listened to them, but I hear about people talking. Like I feel like they come up quite often. So some of you could be drawn to listen to the telepathy tapes.